And God will never give us something we cannot handle. I told him that it seemed God had given her more than she could handle because she had passed away. I know I should not have, but I was not thinking correctly. He slapped me and told me that I needed to serve my husband, that God had chosen me as this child's mother, and that I needed to be his humble servant. I just feel so strange. Yesterday, I cried so hard I threw up. This woman passed, yet I feel bad for myself. I feel so ugly. I wanted children and was saving for in vitro fertilization because I am infertile, but now that I have a chance to have a child, I do not want it. I feel like I'd be robbing its mother's grave. I pray to God, but if I'm being honest, it's never felt like anyone was ever listening. I feel like I have truly seen my husband, who no longer looks kind. He looks his age and is very tired. I want to abandon him and the child. I'm only 29, and I can start over. I have a remote job, so I can take a day off when he goes to the hospital. I can pack my essentials and leave. Neither he nor the child deserve this, and although this is my circus, that is not my monkey. Update 1. I'm still processing this all and just need a little time. I don't feel unsafe, just unloved, just not enough. My husband did apologize for slapping me and continues to express regret, but he can't take it back just as he cannot take back impregnating another woman, which ultimately ended her. I'm just feeling so disillusioned with my whole life right now. I know I should leave. I know that there is a world out there that will not treat me like this, but I am scared of change. I am working on a plan to leave and getting my ducks in a row for when I am ready to go, but I am unsure when I would leave if I choose to. Many expressed that I should make a report to the police about him slapping me, and they're probably right, but that would likely cause me more problems than it would be worth. If I leave, it might make him want to contest the divorce more, and if I stay, it would cause more tension. I've been working on my left hook though because I won't let him get away with it again. I'm not violent myself, but I'm down for a brawl because although I'm hurt, I am angry. I can make all the plans in the world, but the change scares me almost as much as bending to his will. I've been praying but have no clear answers or guidance. I wish I could tell you I packed my bags and left him, but I'm not strong enough to do so yet. It's not that easy to do in real life, as it turns out. Update 2. I left. For those of you who are asking how the other woman passed away, it was an amniotic fluid embolism. I don't know much about those, but I guess when they happen, things go wrong really fast. We lived in a more rural area, so they weren't ready for something like that. I didn't leave immediately, as I know now that I should have. It just wasn't that easy. I stayed for 2 months. I knew if I did not at least try to make it work, I would not be able to live with it, not because I wanted to save my marriage but because what is keep me up at night enough as is. I went to marriage counseling with my husband, but it was ultimately fruitless. Of course, it was Christian counseling. I felt like their goal was for me to forgive him rather than actually trying to help me. I was so utterly alone during that time. My parents and brother are also very religious, so even though they weren't happy with my husband, they kept urging me to do what a good Christian wife would do. I spent so much time suffering in my own head that I began to realize that I was just going through the motions, doing what I thought people expected of me. I entered a state of derealization for a time, and that was an absolute struggle. The feeling of nothing being real, not even myself, was horrible. During this period, my husband brought his baby home, and while he tried to split the care 50-50 at first, he ultimately didn't trust me to look after the baby because I was lost in space. So, he ended up being the primary provider. When I was with the baby, all I could think about was how its existence ruined my life. It'd look at me with big blue eyes, and I would just wish it would disappear. I would actively spend time resenting a baby. There was a time when I was thinking to myself that I wished it would stop breathing. That was when I knew that I needed to leave. I was blaming a baby and wishing ill upon it, and that was not okay to do. I don't remember much about this time besides that. It's mostly a blur otherwise. I sought services through my work to talk to a therapist, and I eventually came back to Earth. She helped me make a plan. At no point did I fear my husband. I truly believe the slap was a one-off event. However, screw him, he doesn't deserve closure. On a night he had a long Bible study, I packed my essentials and dipped. I met him pretty quickly after college, so I did not have much to take as far as furnishings. I fit everything I wanted in 3 suitcases and 4 moving boxes. It all fit into my car after some mediocre Tetris skills. I was able to change my phone number online before I left, but I did leave the divorce papers under his pillow with my lawyer's contact info, kind of like the Tooth Fairy but for adults jerks. I was the breadwinner. In my state, we were not married long enough for me to pay spousal maintenance, at least that is what my lawyer said. I own my vehicle outright, we have our own bank accounts and a shared expenses account, we file taxes separately, and the church owns the house. He's being a jerk about it all, but I'm hoping it should be done soon. I got a decent apartment in a city a few hundred miles away. I've never lived in a city this big before, everything is so expensive, but besides that, I like it. I found a new therapist, met some new friends, and found a new church with loving people. I still have my days, but for the most part, I'm content. I think it will always hurt on some level, but I'm working to regain my power. I turn 30 next month and hope it will be the start of my best decade yet.